The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Time to catch up with our friend, the host with the most, Anthony Albanese. He's
That's
also the
right.
Prime Minister.
He's the Prime
obviously.
Minister. He's the Prime
Albo,
Minister.
hello.
And he wants us to vote a certain way, and that is...
Yes.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Is that him or is that someone else we know that lives in his house? Prime Minister, good
Albo,
morning.
Hello.
Good morning. What an introduction that was.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
You were wondering, where
I
did they get
don't
this
know
recording
why
from?
you used You're the Voice when you had Harry Met Sally sitting there waiting to go.
We should have used Meg Ryan, you reckon?
Don't you think?
She was in everything there for a while, wasn't she, Prime Minister?
She was America's sweetheart.
Oh, it's a great movie and a great scene.
I really liked her in Working Girl. It's the first time I ever saw a woman wear sneakers with a business suit, with like a
Wasn't that
business
Melanie
skirt.
Griffith?
That was Melanie
Yeah.
Griffith.
How dare you?
Yeah.
God,
Oh,
that's
how
some
good
sort of thing.
Sleepless in Seattle.
Yeah, that was a good one.
I don't
You've
think I
got
ever watched
mail.
that whole thing.
A tearjerker.
Yeah.
It was always with
Indeed.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were the golden couple,
Yeah,
weren't
they
they?
were.
Albo, what's your most favourite movie of all time? If it's on the TV, you just settle it. It'll grab your attention. You'll just sink into the lounge and watch it.
Well, here we go. True confessions here. On Father's Day this year, I sat down with my son and we watched Godfather and Godfather 2. We didn't get to Godfather 3, but the trilogy is magnificent.
I have
Did it
never
never-
seen it.
I've watched them
none of
100
them.
times over, but
Are you joking? I've
Isn't
never
it?
seen
Absolutely.
it.
Isn't it? A
Well,
legend
my
has it.
son hadn't seen it either. That's just bad education. They are movies that you have to see.
for sure.
And do you
because-
believe that the second one's better than the first? Because I know a lot of people say that, which is unusual for sequels, obviously.
Oh, the second one's magnificent. I think the second one's the only sequel to, I think it won Best Picture
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
as well. It is just, De Niro and Pacino are just magnificent.
Oh, you love
in
your
anything,
Italians.
of course.
It is interesting when you watch them
I
back,
do indeed.
Prime Minister, when you watch them back because they're so old, sometimes it takes a little bit away. Cause
Yeah.
oh my
It's like
God.
everything
Yeah.
could have been
the
fixed with
props
a
and everything
mobile
else.
phone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's slower pace because
Yes.
movies are like a quicker pace. But I do love the fact that that's the movie that you do is the is the Godfather, and
Yeah.
mine's White Chicks.
Same, same. Similar themes.
Same.
Rubbish movie.
Prime Minister, we are obviously going to touch on the voice and the vote coming up, the referendum coming up here. Have you been a bit disappointed in the fact that there is factions rather than, I'd imagine that, this is a thing, and I've read it a lot, that this should be a time where we're all coming together rather than, splitting apart?
Well, it should be
Yeah.
a moment of national unity because it's such a modest request. It is a request to be recognised, our history, the reality of this great continent we share with the oldest continuous culture on earth. And we should recognise First Nations people in our founding document. Pretty straightforward. And the second thing is the form of recognition that Indigenous Australians have asked for is just a non-binding advisory committee to give advice, to give a voice so that they can be consulted on matters that affect them, because we know that when you ask people who are directly affected, you get better outcomes. But I'm still very hopeful going forward.
Yes.
Everywhere I go, there is a positive response. I've got my local Yes launch on in the inner west of Sydney tonight. I've got the great Ray Martin will be
righto.
interviewing myself and Rachel Perkins as part of that event, and in a showing my age as well. We've got the Hoodoo Gurus playing.
How good.
Hey,
What's my scene?
they played in Fremantle on Sunday night,
Did they
actually.
now?
Yeah, for
Oh,
the 40th anniversary of
fantastic.
America's Cup win.
Well, the last time I saw them was there at the Perth Telethon
Oh, yeah.
telethon dinner there at Crown last year, and they were awesome. Everyone got up and danced, and it was a good bit of fun. So that will round off the evening. But there's 120 events in Perth alone
Whoa.
between now and October 14. And so people are getting out there. What I've found is that when people actually look at what the question is
Yep.
and get away from some of the fear campaign that was there too. Remember, the fear campaign was there with marriage equality and with the apology to stolen generations. None of it eventuated. And it's really similar. Like it won't. There's no downside here. There's just an upside for the most disadvantaged group in Australian society. And why wouldn't we want to embrace that by voting yes?
Oh, look, the yes vote doesn't scare me. And, you know...
But there is a lot of fear-mongering out there, for sure.
And because people are being told that it's going to spiral into something else. So that's not the thing. But I do understand why there is resistance at the moment, Albo, and that is because at the moment... People for the yes vote to get over the line, you have to look outside of yourself, you know, and you have to look for another group of people, and you have to look out for them.
That's true.
At the moment, people are protecting themselves because of the cost of living, and I'm going to be honest, they don't have the brain space to be able to think about that issue when they are trying to put food on their tables and put petrol in their cars and keep the lights on and keep the heating or the cooling on. That's why at the moment, it's just the timing of it is really unfortunate because I just don't think at the moment people are feeling generous enough to
think outside themselves.
To think outside of themselves. What do you have to say to that?
Well, I think Australians are generous people.
No, I do think they are generous. I just think the timing is stuffed.
Well, I understand that people are doing it tough, which is why we're putting such a big effort into putting that downward pressure on inflation by giving cost of living relief, by fixing the budget. We've turned a $78 billion deficit into a $22 billion surplus last year. That's about putting downward pressure on inflation, about helping people at the same time as we've provided that cost of living relief. And we'll continue to do what we can to engage. We're dealing with supply chain issues as well. Fee-free TAFE has gone gangbusters in Perth, really making a difference.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that benefit from that,
So we're doing all of those things. But at the same time, people can, I think, take a few minutes to just look at what the question is.
For sure.
It's so clear.
Yeah, and there is a lot of information out now. Yeah, for sure.
Vote yes.
Yeah.
And make a difference. The truth is it won't impact on most of people's lives. It won't impact on your life directly.
No.
But it will help some of the most disadvantaged people by giving them
just to be heard.
A voice so that we get better outcomes. And the other thing it'll do is if you give people a say, then you give them responsibility for the outcomes as well. Yeah. And you'll get better efficiency. You'll get savings. Instead of bureaucrats in Canberra making decisions, let's get, when it comes to people in the Kimberley or the Pilbara, ask them what they think should happen, and you'll get better efficiency. You'll actually get savings. There's been a lot of money thrown at Indigenous affairs over the years. It's not closing the gap. It's not efficient.
So
we need to do
need a
things
different
better,
approach. Yeah.
and that's what it will do.
Well, I can't wait until
on
you're in
you, mate.
Perth the next time because I think that maybe we'll do a special screening of The Godfather 3 and we'll watch it together.
Yeah, let's do it.
Didn't
As
get
a
the last one
family,
of the
we'll watch it together as a
trilogy.
family.
Yeah.
It's on. Well, I've got to tell you, you should line up someone who you know in Canberra to drop by the lodge next Saturday. There's an open day in the morning.
Yes.
And they can go and see that your photo is still up.
Still on the
above the
mantelpiece.
fireplace in the lodge.
Oh, my,
An
that's so
open
funny.
day.
Yes.
So you can check it out for yourselves.
You
I'll
better
just give
nail
the
it down.
address.
Someone will flog that.
Yeah, that'll be on eBay for millions by the end of the
Well,
day.
they might. No, we'll have security. I think there'll be a special
Put an air tag on
camera
it.
Special
on
camera.
that photo.
It should be.
We love your work, Albo.
Good
Thanks,
on you,
buddy.
man.
We'll catch up again soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, mate.
Cheers, bye.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.